That's where we go kayaking is up Pine Road because it's.
Is there an issue with snow removal in the winter time?
All right, anybody have a?
I mean, if there would be, if they were having an event and they were in the road, yes, it would be an issue.
Absolutely. I make a motion to approve Paul's recommendation for no parking in the areas that he recommends.
I second it.
Motion and a second, further discussion? If not, Ginger, call the roll.
Amanda,
Yes.
and Scott,
Yes.
Toby,
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Looks like we have Russell with us
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
And I see there's a Tory Lawhorn. Could you let us know what item you are here for?
Corey is here for the Monroe County Public Library, and so am I. I'm Gary Lettler.
Okay, just a moment. I believe we're doing that one next.
Okay. Item B, request for standard MUTCD library directional signs on the roundabout at South Rogers and Gordon Pike. Who wants to talk about this?
I think it's a pretty standard request. The library just opened the new branch at the northwest corner. So they were wanting to ask for directional signs, which would be permitted around the roundabout. These are all outside roundabout, correct?
They'd be on the approaches to the roundabout.
It's pretty standard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a standard sign and it'd be helpful as people come up to that area to get them a little direction. Where the library is set back a little bit from the intersection, so.
I make
They
a
want to add
motion.
anything?
Do you want to have them talk? a little?
Yeah, Gary, did you have anything you wanted to say, or Tori?
I mainly wanted to be here in case there were any questions that came up. But I don't really have anything to add in terms of our need for the sign.
Are you the branch manager?
I am the finance director,
Okay,
and Tori is our director of communication and marketing.
okay.
My only question is,
Have they
who would pay for the signs and the photos? And we don't mind putting them on, but is that something the library?
The request says any cost would be covered by the library, I thought.
It does.
So,
Yes, that's true. If there's any cost, we'd be happy to cover that.
Have you seen the proposed layout that I put together on the drawing?
In terms of the placement of the signs,
Yeah, I put together a map and a drawing showing the signage. I don't know if you had seen that.
I did. And
Okay.
it looked good to me.
Okay, good.
okay, a motion,
I make a motion to approve the signs for the library at their expense. County Highway will install.
Second.
further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Okay, Amanda,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Toby,
Yeah.
Lisa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
and Russell.
Yes.
So we will probably order the sign and then
Billy,
have them come through our account and then maybe forward the invoice to the library and work with you, Gary.
Yes, that sounds fine.
Okay, and then our crews will install them.
Very good. Thank you.
and if you could email me the address where you'd like to have the invoice sent, I'd appreciate that. And whose attention? I'm Ginger.
I'll do it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please, yeah, thank you. All right, item C. How you pronounce, is it codify or codify?
Codify.
Okay. Codify speed limits 30 miles per hour on Eller Lane and 25 miles per hour on Spring Branch Road.
So the question I have is, and this is an educational question, why weren't they codified before?
Oh, so sometimes you'll get developers to put in signs. Probably Spring Branch Road is probably a good example. Probably they put it in, never got onto an ordinance. Our ordinances originated back in 1986. So it's like ongoing of updating those and amending those. So, and I'm not gonna say that sometimes when we have upgraded software programs, like in Access, we just do Microsoft conversions that. I feel like some of these, when I saw them, I was like, gosh, I know we used to have a speed limit there, but the signs could be there. But they just never got to that next step of getting that ordinance.
So do we have an issue with the posted speed limit?
I don't.
No. No, and a lot of the old roads were design speeds at that, like the Ponderosa subdivision. Years ago, I think that's the way they were built to be at that.
And for like roads throughout the county, this is the posted, or similar to posted speed limit?
Well, subdivisions now, we've been posting at 25 miles per hour because the geometry fits. The guidelines for 25 miles an hour, even though they might have been. Trying to get 30 mile an hour posting, but we've had enough feedback on. Residents that they're not too happy with 30 miles per hour, so when the requests come in, we do.
But in this particular area, nobody's squawking at the 35-25.
No, this was only brought to our attention by our staff that keeps track of all of our signage and everything. Only one question I would have, I believe Spring Branch Road comes off of Inverness Woods Road. And I'm wondering if we checked if that's consistent with the rest of the subdivision. That would be my question, because
I can check
Inverness
that.
comes off Night Ridge and Spring Branch Road comes off Inverness.
Hmm.
So I don't know if Inverness would be a 30 mile per hour speed limit, and then you go to Spring
25.
Branch and it's 25.
Yeah.
And did you look at the Ponderosa, the Joshua and the McMullen? I
No.
think it's like, and Charles Place, I think that's just a U subdivision. I don't know if you want to look at that,
Yeah,
30 mile per hour.
a lot of these we've been. Anything new or recent requests, we've been going to 25 for subdivisions. Not 30, so.
So let me do,
That's probably
Laura
worth
was just
looking
trying
at.
to fix.
she was trying to just fix the ordinance and
What
stuff,
we
but
had.
looking at it, I'm like, I think, so.
Spring Branch as well.
Yeah, so can I just say, C and D that we table? Recommend tabling until we take a look at those, because, like I said,
Try to stay consistent.
yeah, because Inverness, like I said, I don't want to post something that's, and it was a different developer. Inverness was done way before Spring Branch, so it was like an add-on later, so,
Is Eller Lane different than Eller Road?
yes, it's a gravel road.
And I would argue we need to be consistent.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got a motion to table items C and D so they can look to make sure we're consistent throughout those areas.
Second,
Call the roll, Ginger.
Okay, Amanda? Yes. Scott?
yes.
Toby?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
And Joe?
Yes. Now, when you look at that Ponderosa deal, you may very well want to recommend 25 for the whole thing.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's the point.
Yeah.
yeah, usually the curves and everything, like, meet or match the time speeds.
Makes sense.
I think it's been there.
Roughly the radius of curves that I look for.
All right, item E, codify speed limit 35 miles per hour on Matthews Drive.
So if this,
Excuse me.
there's no map. So is this,
Coming out of Ellisville, is that the Matthews we're talking about?
I think so.
So it's signed for 35, but there's no ordinance to support it, right?
I'll start requesting maps from Laura when she gives me
This
these.
goes past the recycling center.
And it'd be a good question to know what Ellisville piece of Matthews is.
That they tie together.
Yeah.
And I think our jurisdiction doesn't change right at McNeely.
No, we're
It's
kind
off,
of up the
it's-
road a little bit.
Yeah, so I think we need to-
recycling place.
Table this one too.
I think that needs table too.
Make a motion to table.
Second.
All right, call the roll on that one. Jennifer?
Okay, Amanda,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Toby,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
I vote yes too.
Oh, you're here. When did you get here?
Oh, about 5 minutes ago. You're
5 minutes ago.
right at the time you did the last
Okay, we
vote.
weren't talking about you, Reed.
You were talking about me.
I said it's a good thing we weren't.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be the first time. But
All right, item F, inform the board of updates made at the intersection of Bowling House Road and Old Myers Road in response to the most recent request. All of this you?
Yeah, I think so. This intersection's come up several times in the last few years, but, we got another request for an all-way stop at, Old Myers and Bolting House. And complaints about speeds and so forth on Bolting House. And went out, took a look. And noticed that one of the Hill Blocks View signs was missing completely. Big signs and all. So we put another set up on the left side of the road. We added flashing lights to both the Hill Block View sign and the intersection warning sign. Give it, extra visibility. We do have the rumble stripes on the approach to the intersection, so they are in place. Bolting House does not have center line striping, neither does Old Myers, so the roads are too narrow for center line stripes. The only thing I can see that we could probably take the next step in is there's a set of bushes there at the intersection that could be cut, but they're on private property, so we need to coordinate that to see if those can be cut.
Is there a right of way? Is their property or our right of way?
Typically not, since they're not a platted subdivision, we don't have dedicated right of way, so it's typically the into pavement. With our
Okay.
right of way, although we can put signs adjacent to it, to the roadway, but, yeah, we have to get permission to cut those shrubs. So that's, unless we improve the site distance both on the hill, the corner, I don't really advocate for an all-way stop due to the lack of visibility, the slopes, during the winter time.
Pop over that hill and run right in the back of the bike.
Well, yeah, you have that, plus in the winter time, you have people sliding through the intersection because of the hill and all sorts of things, so. We've added, I just noticed our cross traffic does not stop sign been stolen recently, so we're getting another one put up. We've got a sign thief in this area and we're stealing ID signs, chevrons, stop signs, Hill Blocks View signs, cross traffic does not stop signs, all in this area are disappearing, so. Unfortunately, that's a problem. It really gets me when they start stealing stop signs,
Mhm.
which is a serious safety issue. So,
Hear that, Russell?
Yes, I did.
got a sign rustler. So my recommendation is just leave things alone. Let's, see if we can get those bushes cut. To help improve the site distance, I think, and then just let it ride the way it is.
Do you need to talk to anybody about it in the area? Or have we talked about it? Have we talked about this to anybody in the area, like the people who have the bushes on their property?
We can write
I
them
don't
a
think they've
letter.
been contacted yet, so. That'd be the first people.
So I would make a motion for Paul's suggestions and on behalf of the Traffic Commission Board to write a letter to the property owner in the northwest quadrant, asking for assistance on removing those bushes and keeping that maintained.
I second that motion.
And we have a second. Further discussion? If not, call the roll, Susan.
Amanda,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Toby.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes. Then are brought to my attention, a new item you need to add here, that, you've got a copy of it there in front of you, I think, it's right off.
There's additional copies in the middle of the table.
The speed limit, of 35 miles per hour on Smith Pike, the original ordinance. Says Smith Pike had a speed limit of 30, however, it's always been posted at 35. And Paul's asking to make a new ordinance to be 35. Signs are already in place.
I make a motion to codify it.
I second that.
Call the roll, please.
Okay, Amanda,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Toby,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes. One final thing I want to bring up just for you to think about. Before our next meeting or whatever. I've been on here forever and I've always thought that 1:30 was such an unusual time to have a meeting. It just broke up the day, you know. So I wanted, if everybody just got to give a little thought to what would happen if we would maybe have it at 3:00. Something to make it the end of the day for people. Like Mandel works at IU, I worked there for years and. It was always leave the office to go to the meeting, then come back to the office. And if you have me at 3:00, you get to go home after the meeting. The main reason it was at 1:30, just so you have a little background, because I've been on here, as I say, since it started.
Originated.
Yeah, it originated. Traffic Commission always met at the courthouse. But nobody had any offices at the courthouse that was on the Traffic Commission. The county highway garage, engineer's office, all and so forth. So when they came up with the 1:30 time, the idea was it gives you the opportunity to go to lunch. While you're out to lunch, you stop at your meeting at the courthouse at 1:30, then they go back to their office. I know that was the background of it. I didn't have anything to do with it, but I'm sure let me read it. Well, today, that's not the case. Here we're meeting where 2 or 3 of you have offices. And seems to me like it would make a little sense. It might be a good time to think about making it a little later today.
I mean, as a board, there's nothing in our bylaws that says you have to meet at
Well, that
1:30.
was my next question.
No.
Is there some rule?
No, it's just set, and we can set it whatever time we want. And we don't have any conflict with like renting a room anymore. That used to be an
Right,
issue
right.
of when you could have like the Nat U Hill room or something.
Right.
You wouldn't have any conflict with other meetings around
That's
three
what I
or
mean.
anybody
Here,
else?
we don't.
Yeah.
On the third Thursday of the month.
I'm retired, it makes no difference to me.
Yeah, you don't count. No, it really can't. Joe's retired. I was trying to think, I don't have any other,
So I like the idea about that lunch, maybe you guys could just serve us lunch beforehand.
I'm agreed.
well, we're changing it from lunch now. Rick.
Maybe we
okay.
just change it to noon and have lunch while we have them.
Okay, but we could have tea. Could we have tea at the 3:00 time?
I don't, now would it be an issue at 3 when, and this, we'd leave the gate open until 3:30 anyway, in the winter.
It'd be an issue.
I've got plat committee at 4:00.
You have flat
Is it
committee on
here?
the third Thursday of the month.
Is it here?
Well, at my
Downtown.
office downtown.
Well, if you look at these meetings at 1:30, we could have been done 5 minutes ago, and that's
Correct.
normal.
Yeah.
Shoot, 30 minutes is
Yeah,
we seldom have a meeting over 30 minutes long, so I think they'll begin, if we start at 3.
Well,
down to
and the
3.
other thing about that is you can do it, if we have a longer agenda, it seems like you could always zoom into it too.
I have a 4 o'clock every other Thursday also. And so on those longer agenda days, I might have to zoom in. But I don't have any
And I mean-
standing, so.
Does morning hours, are those better than middle of the day hours? No, Joe don't want to get up.
We don't get up that early.
Joe don't want to get up.
Is another day better,
Look here,
that
six.
doesn't have conflict.
I mean, it's like an 11 o'clock time better, because again, the third Thursday of the month, really, I don't have issues with that. Like a Tuesday is terrible for me, or a Wednesday is terrible, but Thursdays.
Well-
This is really, I think, my only reoccurring meeting on Thursdays.
Reed or Russell, do you have any thoughts on this? Now, Reed, I'm talking about legitimate thoughts on it.
The lunch is a legitimate thought, but I'm fine with it. I agree with you. The 1:30 is kind of like right in the middle of the afternoon, so I think I would prefer 3 or 11 or something, and either one of those works for me.
Both work for me, 11 or 3 or even 10 o'clock in the morning.
Did you said like 7 a.m. was out of the question?
7
No, I'm here at 7.
I like to do meetings early,
nothing before
So
9.
actually, really, it really kind of depends on Reed and Amanda. I mean, I think we can kind of make it work if it was at 11 or
Well, it
something like
sounds like
that.
Paul
And I
would be
just-
11 would be better, but
And I just know that there's a limit on the Zooming situation with how many of the members
Have to
can be
be
on
in.
Zoom versus here.
50% have to be
Yeah.
in person,
Mhm.
and then the rest could Zoom.
Okay.
So why don't you do a doodle poll?
okay. I don't know how to do that, but I'll find out.
Yeah, it's easy. And then just send it to everybody with some maybe times on a Thursday. And everyone can just choose, look at their calendars and see if, maybe you're forgetting a reoccurring meeting or something, and then see if another time works.
Yeah, I think 11 would be a problem for me. That's.
Okay,
Well, that-
Anyway, yeah, it's a good idea. Why don't you poll everybody? We'll see if
Okay,
we've got a real good consensus on this. We might make a change.
yeah, it's fine with me.
In the meantime, our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July 20th. Thank you all. We're adjourned.
And
Bye, Russell, bye, Reed.
all right, no lunch next time then?
Bring snacks, man.
Not at our regular meeting, we don't.
It's full, so we can have snacks.
Oh, is that it? But usually on stormwater meetings, everybody's done by the time we're done.
You want an apple? I've got some apples.
No, I think that's a good idea.
I'm good with that.
Ever since we didn't meet at the courthouse, I always wondered, well, I should have brought this up years ago, to change it.
And there's nothing to say that sometimes if you have to change a meeting, you can change the
I didn't know
time
if
of
there
it
was some
too.
ordinance or something that set this
No.
up at that time.
No, it's just always stayed that way, so it can change.
Good.
Yeah. Hate for you to have to get up early.
Oh, yeah, can't do that.
I think we
Are
have
you
to
still on
give,
the
just
park
for,
board? They meet at night, right?
No, we meet at 3:30.
Okay,
Lee sent me some meeting rules not long ago, and I think one of them was that if we do change the meeting time or day, we have to give 30-day notice
Yeah.
to the public.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So,
Very good. See you all next time.
See ya at
I
1:30.
guess we should log off.
1:30
Okay.
in July, and then if we change it, then we